A lot of drivers, nearly 9 out of 10 of them, have no idea about the car hacks I'm about to walk you through. One hack can save you thousands in repairs. And there are people in the automotive industry who would honestly prefer you never figured out a single one of them. Here are 15 brilliant car hacks that sound fake, but actually work. Let's get into it. Hack number 15. Exhaust tip rust removal. You glanced at your exhaust tip. It's dull, spotted with rust, and coated in soot that makes the entire back of your car look 10 years older than it actually is. Most drivers assume this means the exhaust needs replacing, or they pay a detail shop $30 to $50 to have it chrome polished back to life. Here's what actually works instead. A can of WD-40, the same one sitting in your garage right now. Spray it directly onto the exhaust tip, inside and out, and let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes so it can break down the layer of carbon and surface rust bonded to the metal. Scrub with a rag or a ball of fine steel wool, then wipe clean. The petroleum solvent lifts the baked-on soot chemically while displacing the moisture that's been quietly feeding the rust underneath the whole time. Run your hand over it afterward and the difference is immediate. Dull grey rust replaced by bright, restored metal. A can of WD-40 costs about $5 and can treat exhaust tips on every car you own for years. What most drivers don't realize is that exhaust discoloration is almost always surface level. Carbon and rust sitting on top of intact metal, not permanent damage underneath. Shops upsell replacement tips because customers assume the staining means the metal itself is compromised. And here's the part nobody mentions. WD-40 also displaces the moisture that's been causing the rust to keep coming back in the first place, which means one treatment slows down the next cycle of corrosion before it even starts. If that one surprised you, this next one will make your AC 10 times colder. Hack number 14. Dashboard odor elimination. You get in your car after it's been sitting closed up for a day in the heat, and that first breath hits you. Here's the hidden trick. With the car running and the AC on full blast in fresh air mode, spray Lysol disinfectant directly into the exterior air intake vent, the grill at the base of your windshield where your wipers rest. The spray travels the same path the air does, coating the evaporator and killing the grime that's been suffocating it. Let it run for a few minutes with the windows cracked. A can costs around $4 and the whole job takes less than 5 minutes. Here's the part most people miss. A dirty evaporator is one of the most common reasons an AC feels weak, and it's the one cause a refrigerant recharge will never fix. Plenty of drivers pay for a recharge, feel no difference, and assume the whole system needs replacing when $4 worth of disinfectant would have solved it. It's the kind of fix that makes your AC feel brand new without touching a single mechanical part. Hack number 13. Door hinge squeak fix. Every time you open your car door, it groans, and it's gotten louder every week for a month now. You've started timing your exits so the neighbors don't hear it. Most drivers either ignore it or take it to a shop, where a hinge service gets bundled into a larger repair bill. Here's the 2-minute fix. Take a small amount of Vaseline, plain petroleum jelly, and work it directly into the top and bottom hinge pins on every door. Open and close the door several times so the lubricant distributes fully into the joint, then wipe away any excess. The petroleum jelly gets into the metal-on-metal friction point and eliminates the grinding almost immediately. Your doors swing shut in total silence, and the hinge metal is protected from rust while you're at it. A jar of Vaseline costs about $4 and can lubricate every hinge on your car for years. What most drivers don't realize is that a squeaky hinge is almost always dry metal friction and nothing more serious, which is exactly why the fix takes 2 minutes and mechanics rarely lead with it. And here's the detail that matters. Vaseline also seals out the moisture that eventually turns into the one scenario, actual hinge rust, that would require a real repair down the line. This next hack keeps your mirrors clear in the worst weather. Hack number 12, anti-fog mirror trick. The weather turns, the first cold rain of the season hits, and suddenly your side mirrors are useless, fogged over and streaked with water that never seems to fully clear. You're changing lanes half blind. Here's what fixes it before you even leave the driveway. Spray a small amount of ordinary shaving cream onto your side mirrors. Rub it in with a clean cloth, then wipe it completely off until the glass looks clear again. The trace residue that's left behind, even after wiping, creates an invisible hydrophobic layer on the glass. Water hits it, and beads up instead of spreading into that hazy film you're used to seeing. A can of shaving cream costs about $3 and treats every mirror and window on your car for months. What most drivers don't realize is that the rain-repellent glass treatments sold at auto stores for $15 to $20 a bottle rely on the exact same surfactant chemistry as ordinary shaving cream, just with different packaging and a much higher price tag. And here's the bonus nobody mentions. The same trick works on your windshield and even your bathroom mirror at home, so one can quietly solve fog problems in more places than just your car. Up next is a feature sitting right next to you that almost nobody adjusts correctly. Hack number 11, seatbelt height adjuster. Your seatbelt has been cutting across your neck uncomfortably on every single drive for as long as you can remember, so you've either loosened it slightly, which defeats the point, or just lived with the irritation. Here's what most drivers completely miss. Nearly every car built in the last 2 decades has an adjustable seatbelt anchor built directly into the door pillar next to your shoulder. Look for a small slider or button on the upper mount where the belt comes out of the wall. Press the release and slide it up or down until the belt crosses the middle of your shoulder instead of your neck. This feature came standard with your car, so it costs nothing to use, you just have to know it's there. What most drivers don't realize is that a poorly positioned seatbelt is measurably less effective in a collision, which makes this a genuine safety fix, not just a comfort one, and most people drive their entire lives without ever touching this adjuster. And here's the detail that matters. Correct positioning also reduces the chances of the belt locking up unnecessarily during normal driving, something a lot of people mistake for a faulty seatbelt mechanism and never think to just adjust. Now for a hack that keeps your windshield clear all winter long. Hack number 10, windshield frost and fog fix. Winter mornings mean scraping ice off your windshield for 10 minutes before you can even see out of it. And the second you turn the heat on, the inside fogs up just as badly. Auto stores sell de-icing sprays and anti-fog treatments separately, usually $15 to $25 a bottle each. Here's a 2-ingredient fix that handles both problems. Mix 3 parts white vinegar with 1 part water in a spray bottle and apply it to your windshield the night before a frost is expected, then wipe it dry. For the fogging problem, rub a small amount of cornstarch paste onto the inside of the glass and buff it off with a dry cloth. The vinegar lowers the freezing point of any moisture sitting on the glass, while the cornstarch leaves behind an invisible film that keeps condensation from clinging to the surface at all. A bottle of vinegar and a box of cornstarch together cost about $3 and last for dozens of applications. What most drivers don't realize is that most commercial de-icing sprays are essentially diluted vinegar or alcohol solutions sold at a serious markup. And here's the part that saves the most time. This same combination works on your side mirrors and rear window too. So one batch handles every piece of glass on your car for the entire winter. Before we get into the next car hacks, do me a favor and hit that like button. We spend real time digging up tricks that mechanics and detail shops don't advertise, and it genuinely helps the channel when you do. Alright, let's keep going. Now let's get into a hack for headlights that have gone completely cloudy. Hack number 9, headlight restoration trick. Your headlights have gone yellow and hazy, and it's not just cosmetic anymore. You can actually feel the difference in how much road you can see at night. Detail shops charge $60 to $100 for a full headlight restoration package. Here's what works from your kitchen instead. Mix baking soda with fresh orange juice, or rub the inside of an orange peel directly into the mixture until it forms a mildly acidic paste. Apply it to the headlight lens with working it in circular motions for a minute or 2, then rinse and buff dry. The citric acid breaks down the oxidized yellow layer sitting on top of the plastic, while the baking soda gently polishes the surface without scratching it. An orange and a box of baking soda together cost about $2 and can treat every headlight on your car repeatedly. What most drivers don't realize is that headlight yellowing is UV oxidation sitting on the outer layer of the plastic, and specialty restoration kits are essentially the same mild acid and abrasive combination in a bottle with a much higher price attached. And here's the part that saves you the most money long term. Doing this every few months prevents the yellowing from ever building back up to the point where a full restoration kit would even be necessary again. This next one solves a problem almost every driver blames on the wrong part of the car. Hack number 8, throttle pedal reset. Your gas pedal has started feeling jumpy and inconsistent, sometimes barely responding, sometimes lurching forward more than you expected, and a shop quoted you for a throttle sensor diagnostic that costs more than you'd like. Here's what almost nobody tries first. With the engine off, turn your key to the on position without starting the car. Then slowly press the gas pedal all the way to the floor and release it 3 times in a row. Then turn the key back off. This resets the throttle position sensor's learned values, letting it recalibrate against a clean baseline instead of continuing to run on drifted readings it's picked up over time. This costs nothing and takes under a minute. What most drivers don't realize is that throttle sensors get blamed for a lot of problems they're not actually causing. Drifted calibration is far more common than sensor failure, and it's something a shop can reset in seconds while still billing you for a full diagnostic visit. And here's the detail worth knowing. This same reset can also smooth out a rough idle in some vehicles, meaning one 30-second trick can quietly resolve 2 separate complaints at once. This next hack tackles a smell most people think they just have to live with. Hack number 7, AC intake mold fix. You turn on the AC and cold air blasts out, but it smells musty, like it's coming from somewhere you can't reach and can't clean. You hang a tree from the mirror, you spray something citrus scented. 20 minutes later, the smell is back. That's because you've been masking it instead of removing it. Detail shops offer an odor elimination treatment for $50 to $70, which sounds like a specialized process, but usually isn't. Here's what actually deals with the source. Lightly mist Lysol disinfectant spray onto a microfiber cloth, never directly onto the dash itself, and wipe down the entire surface, working it into the seams, vents, and crevices where dust settles. Let it air dry for a few minutes. The disinfecting agents kill the bacteria and mold spores that have been quietly living in those seams, which is the actual source of the smell, not something a perfumed spray was ever going to touch. A can of Lysol costs around $4 and lasts for dozens of treatments. What most drivers don't realize is that a lot of odor removal packages at detail shops amount to running an ozone machine for an hour, which temporarily oxidizes odor molecules without addressing the bacteria causing them. And here's the part that matters most. This same method works even better on your AC vents, which is where the real bacteria buildup tends to live. And it's an area most standard interior details skip entirely. This next one restores your paint like it just left the factory. Hack number 6, paint decontamination trick. You wash your car, step back, and it still looks dull, almost gritty. Even though it's clean, detail shops charge $100 to $150 for what they call a paint decontamination service. Here's what that service actually is. Spray a car-safe lubricant onto a small section of paint, then glide a clay bar gently back and forth across the surface, letting the clay itself do the work rather than pressing down hard. Fold the clay to a clean side as it picks up debris and work in small sections across the entire car. The clay physically lifts embedded contaminants, brake dust, tree sap, airborne industrial fallout that have bonded directly to the clear coat and were never going to wash off with regular soap. A clay bar kit costs $15 to $20 and can be reused across your entire car many times over. What most drivers don't realize is that this exact process, clay plus lubricant, is the entire service that shops charge triple digits for. And here's the part that pays off later. Paint that's been properly decontaminated lets wax and sealant bond far more effectively and last significantly longer, which means this one step quietly multiplies the value of every future wax job. This next hack brings dead taillights back to life. Hack number 5, taillight restoration trick. Your taillights have gone cloudy and dim, and it's more than a cosmetic issue. Drivers behind you are noticing your brake lights later than they should. Here's the simple fix. Cut a lemon in half and rub the cut side directly over the foggy taillight lens using firm circular motions. Let the juice sit for a minute, then rinse and buff dry with a microfiber cloth. The citric acid breaks down the same oxidized outer layer that causes headlight yellowing, restoring clarity and letting more light through the lens. A single lemon costs less than $1 and can treat every light on your car. What most drivers don't realize is that dim tail lights are a genuine safety issue, since the drivers behind you are relying on that brightness to judge exactly when you're braking, and most people never think to treat their tail lights the same way they'd treat foggy headlights. And here's the bonus most people miss. The same lemon trick works beautifully on chrome trim and emblem badges too, cutting through hazing and restoring shine in a single pass. This next hack goes deep into your interior in a way regular cleaning never touches. Hack number 4. Deep interior odor removal. Your seats and carpets look clean on the surface, but there's a faint smell and some ghost staining that survives every round of vacuuming and wiping down. Detail shops charge $100 to $200 for what they call a deep interior sanitization. Here's what actually gets underneath the surface. Mix hydrogen peroxide with a small amount of water and dish soap in a spray bottle. Lightly mist it onto fabric seats, carpets, or floor mats. Let it sit for 5 minutes. Then blot with a clean cloth, never rub it in. The peroxide breaks down organic stains and the bacteria causing the odor at a molecular level. Something a standard fabric cleaner can only ever mask from the surface. A bottle of hydrogen peroxide costs about $2 and treats your entire interior multiple times over. What most drivers don't realize is that professional-grade fabric sanitizers are largely peroxide-based formulas sold at a significant markup with fragrance added on top. And here's the detail worth knowing. This same mixture also works on cloth headliners, which is where mold and smoke odor tend to hide longest. And it's an area most standard interior details skip entirely because it takes more time. This next hack takes care of a part of your car most people forget exists until it fails. Hack number 3, wiper blade streak fix. Your wipers have started streaking and juttering across the glass instead of clearing it in one smooth pass, and you've assumed that means it's time for a new set. Auto parts stores will happily sell you a replacement pair for $25 to $40. Here's what usually fixes the problem instead. Lift each wiper blade away from the windshield, spray a light coat of WD-40 onto a clean rag, and wipe down the entire rubber edge of the blade, removing the grime and oxidation that's built up over months of exposure. Wipe off any excess so the blade isn't left slick, then lower it back onto the glass. The solvent dissolves the hardened oxidation layer and restores the flexibility the rubber needs to make clean contact with the glass. A can of WD-40 costs about $5 and can revive wiper blades on every car you own for years. What most drivers don't realize is that most worn-out wiper blades aren't actually worn at all. They're just coated in road grime and oxidized rubber that a 2-minute wipe down completely resolves. And here's the part that extends things even further. Doing this once a month keeps the rubber conditioned, which means your existing blades can often outlast their recommended replacement interval by double. This next hack could save you from an unnecessary battery replacement. Hack number 2, battery terminal corrosion fix. Your car has been struggling to start, or you've popped the hood and noticed the battery terminals are caked in a crusty white or blue-green buildup that seems to be getting worse by the week. A mechanic sees corroded terminals and quotes you for a brand new battery on the spot. Here's what's actually going on. With the car off, disconnect the terminals, negative cable first, and mix white vinegar with a small amount of baking soda directly onto the corroded areas. It'll fizz on contact. Scrub with an old toothbrush, rinse with a damp cloth, and dry thoroughly before reconnecting. Positive cable first this time. The acidic vinegar dissolves the corrosive buildup, restoring a clean, direct metal connection between terminal and cable. A bottle of vinegar costs about $2 and can treat battery terminals on every vehicle you own for years. What most drivers don't realize is that corroded terminals mimic almost every symptom of a genuinely dying battery: slow cranking, dim interior lights, intermittent starting, which is exactly why this fix gets skipped so often in favor of a full replacement that was never actually needed. And here's the part that makes it permanent. Once the terminals are clean, coating them with a thin layer of petroleum jelly prevents the corrosion from ever coming back, meaning this one cleaning can genuinely be the last one your battery needs. Now for the number 1 hack you've been waiting for. This one can genuinely make your car feel faster. Hack number 1, mass airflow sensor cleaning. Your car has started feeling sluggish, hesitating when you press the gas, and you've noticed you're filling up more often than you used to. A mechanic diagnoses a dirty mass airflow sensor and quotes you $150 to $250 for a replacement part plus labor. Here's what almost never gets mentioned first. Locate your mass airflow sensor, typically a small sensor housed between your air filter box and the intake tubing just after it. Carefully remove it and spray it with a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner, never anything else. Holding the can several inches away, and spraying the delicate wire or plate element directly. Let it air dry completely for at least 10 minutes before reinstalling, since any leftover moisture can damage the sensor permanently. The cleaner dissolves the fine film of oil and dust that's built up on the sensor's measuring element, the exact film that's been throwing off its airflow readings and confusing your engine's fuel calculations this whole time. A can of MAF cleaner costs about $8 and can be reused on the same sensor for the life of your car. What most drivers don't realize is that a dirty MAF sensor is one of the most common reasons behind a check engine light and sluggish performance, and shops often replace the part outright rather than clean it, because a new sensor bills at close to 10 times the price of a can of cleaner. And here's the part that pays off in more than one place. A properly reading MAF sensor also helps your transmission shift more smoothly, since your car's computer relies on that same airflow data to time gear changes, which means this one $8 fix can quietly improve 2 systems at once. How many of these 15 hacks did you already know? Drop a comment and let me know which one surprised you the most. If this video just saved you real money, hit that subscribe button. We put out videos like this regularly, and every trick is tested and built to actually work in the real world. Our next video shows car secrets built inside your car that nobody knows about. Click this video, you won't regret it.